In Genesis 2:3, God blessed and made the seventh day holy, which is why the Sabbath is considered a special day. How does it differ from our Sunday, the Lord's Day? And what is the significance of the days like Sabbath or the Lord's Day? God created the universe and the world in 6 days and rested in the seventh day. He blessed that day and made it holy. As part of 10 Commandments, God commanded us to keep the seventh day, the Sabbath, as a holy day of rest. However, it's important to remember that Sabbath cannot bring the dead to life. Even on Sabbath, Jesus Christ remained dead after his crucifixion. This is imperfection and limitation of the Sabbath. After his resurrection, Jesus completed the Sabbath, which is why this day is called the Lord's Day or Sunday. In Luke 24, 1-3, it is recorded that Jesus rose on the first day after the Sabbath. In other words, he who had remained in the tomb on the Sabbath rose again on the first day after the Sabbath, which is a Sunday. So in Revelation 1:10, John refers to the Lord's Day, which is the day when Jesus completed the Sabbath. Jesus himself proclaimed to be the Lord of the Sabbath. And by shedding his blood on the cross and rising again, he finally fulfilled the Sabbath. Therefore, it is through Jesus we are sanctified. We can only be made holy in him. If we're not in Jesus, the devil can easily devour us. Therefore, the Bible instructs us to remember the Lord's Day and to sanctify ourselves. If there were no Lord's Day, we would not know what it means to be holy. The Lord's Day is holy. Remember the Lord's Day. Remember that he made that day holy. Remember that God made it holy and sanctify yourselves. Likewise, today we must determine to sanctify ourselves as that day is holy. How can a man make himself holy? Changing clothes or taking a bath does not make him holy. He can only be made holy through Jesus. We cannot use the Lord's Day as we please. God has made this day holy, and it is the Lord's Day. We should not engage in leisure activities or speak idle words. Instead, we should conduct ourselves in a way that is pleasing to God. Isaiah 53:13-14. This means that on the day God has made holy, we should make ourselves holy. This is where our spiritual life comes in. Therefore, those who consider the Lord's Day a holy day are already spiritual people living a spiritual life. They understand holiness and the significance of the holy day. On the other hand, those who live according to the flesh do not understand holiness. Some people are sanctified through Jesus, while others can be defiled on this day. Just because it is a holy day does not mean that the devil rests. Even today, the devil can come into the church and still cause disruption. While others receive grace and say, "Amen, amen," during the sermon, there are those who, upon hearing the exact same sermon, fall into temptation and say, "That sermon is targeting me." We should remember the Lord's Day and strive to live a holy life in Jesus. Thank you for watching. See you next time.